Welcome everyone. My name is Evgenia Simmons. I am the founder of Vertex from 3D. I'm also a world builder. It's kind of interesting that this might become a profession of the future. It's actually becoming already, as a lot of companies are going to start adopting. And I don't know if you know this term called gentrification. I used to be a tour guide in New York City, and this is one of the terms that we used to use, especially when we had tour of Soho. We're like, okay, so this place was gentrified. Artists move in, they move into abandoned industrial neighborhood that nobody wants to be in, and then they make it beautiful, and then all of a sudden everybody wants to be in that environment. So I feel like that happening. So I'm as a 3D artist, I started 10 years ago, and about 5 years ago, I was fully in VR, fully building in alt space, building different platforms. I built a little bit for Mozilla Hubs, for spatial, for a little bit for VR chat. And right now, as some of you know, that we released open source framework. And I think that this is a great time to restart workshops like that to give a head start for beginners, especially because you will be amazed how far you will be in a year if you just start today and do a little bit, little by little every day. You will be really far ahead. So today we're going to be talking about a very basic of Unity and Blender, and we're going to explain how they work together, what's the difference, what's similarities, and how you can utilize it in creating your own environments. And also feel free to ask questions, and Arjun can interrupt me if needed, and I can answer them. Okay? So I hope that you had a chance to install Unity. If not, no worries. I'm going to have a link later. And also, if you will be using our framework, we'll have a special version of Unity that you will be using. So what is Unity? So Unity is a powerful real-time 3D development platform used to create interactive experiences such as games, virtual reality, augmented reality, simulations, and more. So Unity is one of really two engines right now in the whole world. Unreal is the other one that can do all of that. Every platform, apps on every single device. And Unity is very well adopted in the developer community, in indie game design. It's been around, I would say, 2004 maybe. So it's pretty solid engine. It's built in physics, um, particle system, animation tool, a lot of assets that were developed by the community, free and paid. C-sharp scripting and real-time lighting, post-processing. And again, you can integrate, you can use it with many different formats of your 3D assets. So what is Blender? Blender is a 3D modeling. It's open source. It's free. I actually do have a little bit of donation. I think I will have to ramp it up because I use Blender all the time for work. It's an incredible tool for building, for 3D modeling, pretty much. 3D modeling, sculpting, UV unwrapping. They have animation. It has animation and rigging system for characters. So a lot of those things Unity doesn't have, right? You can't go into Unity and look into all these polygons and move edges around unless there are some maybe plugins, but I don't really use them because Blender is such a powerful tool that I usually use Blender for that. And different formats, I would sometimes pull, get a format of my 3D assets. They can be in Collada, they can be in FBX file, they can be in GLB, like all different formats. You can all use it. You can bring it to SketchUp also. It has an extension to support SketchUp. You can also import it and do whatever you need to do. And a great community support, a lot of plugins, a lot of tutorials, like everywhere on YouTube and all over the place. So today I have a little bit of overview what we're gonna be talking about. So we're gonna look into Unity, and we're gonna understand the layout and navigation, how to use scaling, moving tools, materials and textures that you can create inside of Unity. We're going to talk about Skyboxes, the lighting, the and some basic Unity landscaping tools as well. And then we're going to jump into Blender. We're going to try to understand the difference between object mode and edit mode, transformation. They're kind of similar, Unity and Blender, so you don't really have to 100% switch. And pivot points, so they're very important, especially for VR development, and a little bit of modifiers. So pretty much a good overview. It might be a little overwhelming, but just think that it's just the beginning, right? It's first step. Later on, when you're going to start learning, you will say, oh, you know, Evie said that, and I remember she said that. And normal maps as well, so normal map shading and stuff like that. Any questions so far? No questions? Love Blender. Yay. And also, I'm going to send the link to this resources file with some of the links that you guys might want to check. And if you watching it in the recording, I'm gonna also link it in the YouTube. Any questions? Okay. So the very first thing that you guys probably did already, I hope that you did. If you didn't, you will have to install Unity Hub. This is where you will be having and installing all of your different Unity versions. Because with my experience on using Unity for a very long time, if you go through a tutorial, if you find a great tutorial online, always watch what version of Unity the tutor is using, because you might be not having certain features, or there will be misconnections. So there are some differences between Unity versions, so always focus on what Unity version was used by the tutor or the teacher. For us, we have 0.32. But again, today, the tutorial today, it's pretty universal. You can use it for pretty much any type of Unity. Then what we're gonna have, so we have projects here, right? So if you wanna start a new project, that's great. I'm gonna show you how Unity looks bare bone when there's no tutorials and stuff. If you start a new project, Unity has a lot of different templates, which are really cool for beginners to not have a blank slate. You can have a VR core. I did try it. It's awesome. It's it's just one scene with different. You can jump from different areas to play games. It's already configured with multiplayer, which is it's a great start as well. Not as good as ours, but something. And also mixed reality, they released recently. I haven't checked it yet. I would like to check. But let's say we're gonna go bare bone, just see how Unity looks empty. I usually pick universal pipeline. There are a couple you might be hearing URP, HDRP. So mostly you will see URP because URP is used in mobile games that support different shader, different lighting, different material types. We usually always use URP, like you would see that. Okay, render pipeline, URP. Once you select that, I already started this project, so we don't have to waste a lot of time. You will get to the Unity editor. And what mind-blowing is that it just looks so, when I first opened, I was like, oh my gosh, there's like nothing. So, and then people come here, it's a whole universe. You can create anything you want. You can, if you have all these ideas, talent, and we have a lot of tutorials out there for pretty much any step that you would want to find. You will search and you will find it. Any questions? They're both Mac friendly. Yes. So the first thing when you open up, sometimes when you open a package that comes from Spatial, for example, like the toolkit, creator toolkit, or if you take our framework, it will open up with an empty like this, right? You will be, what is going on? Unnamed scene, you don't know. The first thing you always have to do is to navigate into scenes folder. So once you navigate into scenes folder, when you see this logo, this is where all of the environments live in here, right? This is the Unity logo. When you create new scene, you will be creating the same Unity logo. my new scene. My new scene. So it will come with main camera, directional light, global volume. So global volume is a really neat tool which you can use for bloom. It's not going to be looking so flat. You know, it's going to have a little haze. It's going to have a little something like depth. So global volume is one of the things always, you know, keep in mind. So the first thing that you will have to do in any game, my first thing, I always create the cube, because and then make sure that the cube is at 0 point. So right now it's not, so I will just go here and reset it, and then double click, or you can click F, and you will zoom in close to the cube. So why are we doing that? This is where normally avatar is spawned. Unless there is a special fancy entry point, like spatial, they have an entry point where you can put anywhere. So then that's where your avatar will spawn. But normally you would want to, all avatars are spawned at 0, 0, 0 point. So this is the beginning of your world. And you have to remember that even though the environment is endless, it's completely endless environment. You can scroll and it's going to be forever. Always keep in mind that the further your user or avatar walks away, the more issues they're going to have. There will going to be a lot of rendering power going on, processing power, unless you have a special script attached that origin shifting. So make sure that your world is always kind of nice and small, very put together, right? You don't want to, if you need to add extra, you will just have to create a portal. So your user will just jump into a completely different scene, so you don't overpower one environment. Any questions? Might mention how flexible. Yes, the layout is pretty flexible. You can. I usually don't mess with the layout unless I really have to. But you do have a choice of. I've seen, you name it, I've seen it. I've seen all layouts, all kinds of ways, and yeah, every single one you can. And I think there is also different splits. Whichever is gonna be comfortable for you, you can do that. Any questions? More questions? How much C# knowledge do you need? So it depends on what you need. With, like, for example, our framework, you don't need to know C# because all the scripts already exist, and unless you want something fancy or like unique, that you can reuse it. And I'm gonna go look in the framework in a little bit. We're just gonna look at the empty Unity to kind of understand the difference. So let's start building something. What we can build is 3D objects, and we're gonna do terrain, right? So let's see how big my terrain is. Terrain will usually come out pretty big. We'll have to go into the settings, terrain settings, and then we're gonna reduce it, I would say like 250, maybe by 250. Again, don't stress if you can follow. There's plenty of in-depth tutorials that we will help you locate. And what I do normally, I would like to pull my terrain like that. And remember our cube, we just click F and we're here. So this is my avatar. I always try to look which ways the avatar is facing. So let's put our terrain a little bit down, because what happens if you put your cube below the terrain, your avatar is gonna fall because there is no collider happening here. So mesh, the terrain will already have a collider, so your avatar is not gonna fall. Also, remember that this is X, Y, Z coordinates. X is where your avatar is gonna be facing. So what happens, the avatar is literally a camera. Right here, Unity gives you, if you turn on gizmos. So the camera, right now, the camera just sits here because people do different games. They do third-person controller when you can see the avatar walking, and this is the camera. So this is where the camera will be looking this way. Okay, so keep in mind, whatever you want, even in our environments, if this is the way you want your user to look, you have to make sure that their gizmo is facing this way. So another thing, so we're gonna do, any questions?
I had a question. So you saying the X is where your avatar be looking? I thought it was the Z is where your X look. I
What
thought it
do you
was the
think?
blue.
What do you think, Arjun? Because I do it so automatically, I'm forgetting.
So like so the avatar should be like into the Z direction. So
Into
like Z
Z?
direction should be into the forward. Like yeah,
Oh,
rotate again,
okay.
rotate. Yeah, like no, rotate small.
Well,
No,
they gotta do
don't
this one.
no rotate. Like just move it from like your mouse, like in the scene. No, not that.
This one?
I'm sure that no, not rotate the cube. Just mm, tap on that mouse button. Just a moment.
On what?
Do with like what can say middle button, middle mouse button. Yeah,
Okay.
like yes. So the mouse direction. So yeah. Rotate like this. Yeah, yeah, like to the right side, right side.
Okay. No,
So
anyway, it's gonna
yeah, like this. Yeah, like this. But rotate again. So like this blue handle should be in front of the your camera. Like rotate,
it's fine.
rotate.
Anyway, but the camera, let me see. It's fine. Let me see. I think
Yeah,
we need
the
to do
camera is in
something.
the camera is in the right directions. Yeah.
Maybe this way, like that.
No,
Anyway,
no, you don't need to rotate the player or global volume.
okay, that's fine. It's fine. It's not too important, but like it's
Yeah,
either this way or that way.
this
So
will. Like,
next, the next what we're gonna do is to start pulling a little bit of terrain, paint texture, or for example, maybe find some texture. So you want to have a little bit of grassy texture, and then we have a lot of different ways of finding textures. One of my favorite places is Polyhaven. And the great thing about that is it's free. I used to go a lot to the textures.com, but they discontinued all of the free textures. So I usually normally go here. Brass, for example, you can select any of this, click on it and download. So it will come pretty big. So 76 megabytes, it's pretty big. I usually sometimes either go to Photoshop and reduce it, but there's also another way to reduce it in Unity. For example, I already imported it, and I'm going to show you. I already downloaded and unzipped it. And what we're going to have, asset, import new asset, and I downloaded them on my desktop and I already unzipped them, right? So I already have here, we're gonna grab diffuser and we're gonna grab normal map and we're gonna import them. So now you have both of them. So normal map, you wanna change to normal map and then reduce the size of it to 520 and then let's save it. Grassy also let's do reduce to like 520 because that one we want to have you want to keep it very small. So now we're gonna have paint texture. Let me see if I can. Oops, sorry. Paint textures. Okay, I don't know what's going on. Please load terrain. Terrain. All right, so let's try to stamping terrain. I'm not sure why my texture is not coming up. All right, so we're gonna do a little bit of stamping terrain. Let's reduce a little bit of the size. And so going to move to a little bit to Blender. I got lost a little bit. And preferences, and add curve, extra curves, extra objects. And that will give you a lot of different add-ons that you can access. Shift A, and you will go to mesh and extra objects, for example. And we can have access to different math functions and gears if you want to start from something that you don't want to, for example, model. So gear, we can have gears, radius, base, addendum, or we can also have landscape as well. So I can sometimes start in Blender like that. So we can try to apply the texture here from the materials that we installed. For example, we're going to create a new material, and we're going to call it landscape. Shift A, image textures, and open desktop. We did the textures over here. For example, this one, you unwrap, and we're gonna pull a little bit of UV unwrapping here. A. So this is one of the ways that we can do that. And then, for example, if you want to understand, also a very important thing is to start turn on statistics. So statistic will show you how big is your environment. Your environment normally needs to be pretty small. So there's different ways to reduce it. Vertex, mesh, normal. For example, clean up and decimate geometry, or mesh, clean up, limited dissolve, and then you will start to reduce a little bit of the environments here. Okay, so let's say we're going to put in another monkey. Okay, mesh, monkey. It's just the starter point over here. Okay. So let's say we want to take this and export to Unity. 5 export. And I usually like to export is FBX. Copy the link copy, and then this little box here, desktop, and landscape. Then we're going to go back to Unity, and we can go mesh, import, desktop, landscape APX. We're going to do apply, and then we're going to come here. So we're going to bring it this way. Okay. So let's talk a little bit about the skyboxes, because there's different ways to create a skybox in Unity. Let's see where our Susan is. So Susan is over here. Susan is over here. So, and then remember the cube. Our cube is bird, so we don't want to do that, right? So we want to try to make our terrain to be in the middle of the cube, right here. Cube. Right here. Right here. So that way, for example. So that this is where your avatar is going to spawn. So another thing what we're going to do real quick is to go into the lightning. This is where you're going to be changing your skybox. So Skybox, different ways to find Skybox would be to either find it on Google 360. This is where I usually really like to look for my Skyboxes. Or I can go to Unity Asset Store, and the Unity Asset Store, there is also a lot of different environments where you can find, for example, Skyboxes. They can be free. You can put free version over here. And then I have you can get 10 skyboxes for free over here, but I paid I think $10, and I have a collection of different skyboxes that you can use. But what I'm going to show you is to create your own skybox. I have several environments that I created using this method from Google. So what we're going to do is you can go to Google Maps. And then we're going to go to any place around the world. I usually like to do if you go to Dolomites, for example. Dolomites, or you can find any place around the world that you would like. So, for example, Dolomites, and then just go to Street View 360 and select, and then just start looking which one do you like more. So you can go pretty much anywhere around the world. Right, so I'm going to show you an example of the skybox that I created in just a minute. So let's say like one of the skyboxes, we copy this. There is a program that I linked to the file, which you can download on your computer. Then what you do is you select a location. You will insert the link over here. And then you will download Panorama. So that will download this beautiful image that you will be able to import into Unity as a regular image. So let's say we did that, download it, and I'm going to show you an environment that I created using this method. One of the worlds in a second. So, and let's say we're going to go to import new asset. We're going to go into our folder, textures, and this is one of the images that I installed here. So in order to create a skybox, we'll have to create a material to make the skybox, to create a custom skybox. So we're going to create material. We'll create material. Create. Custom skybox. What we're gonna do here in the inspector, we're gonna name it cube map. And another thing that you have to do to the custom skybox is to select cube in the texture. So then we're gonna create latitude, longitude, and then we're gonna hit apply. So that will turn this skybox into unwrapped, this little square. Then we're gonna take our custom skybox and we're gonna drag and drop it over here. Then we'll have to change our skybox, and all we do is just pretty much drag and drop, and then it will change into that. So I like this method a lot. The only problem with this method is that you don't have a control over the skybox, the way it will come, the way it's going to be. And sometimes for the avatar, it's going to be a little bit too big, right? So what we want to do is to another option that I use sometimes. For example, you can create a sphere and use it as a use it for the skybox. For example, we create a sphere. So sphere will be our skybox, right? So we'll have to create a new material. For example, drag and drop it on the sphere. And then we'll have to, again, import our, because we already converted it to the cube, I don't want to convert it back. And then we'll take the sphere and we will drag it into the Dolomites over here. So then we have to set it up to both like that, right? So then we'll have this one, but we'll have to make it a little bit more, like that, sharper. And then what we're gonna do is we're gonna make it universal unlit. Let's do unlit because we want to do so it's not so shaded, right? So we're going to make it bright. And then this method will be really great because you will have an opportunity to kind of pull your environment higher, like this, for example, or you can move it down, right? So I'll show you one example of the environment that I've created for spatial, and it was done for this environment. This was pulled from the Dolomites, but I was fortunate that I didn't have to do a lot of customization. I think I can't remember if it was I think it was a sphere because I don't remember I had to move it a little bit. So this is the actual image that came from Google Earth. And another one that I created that also came from Google Earth, the other one was the tree house I did, that came from somewhere in Australia, one of the rainforests. So I just found the skybox that I really liked, and I think that looks really good because it looks like a jungle. Any questions? Any questions? Somebody is asking about my frame. Yes, I'm going to jump into the framework in just a second. So, and pretty much this one of the most important thing, the lighting. So the lighting, you will have directional light here. We can be making it the intensity, you can make it brighter or darker. We can change the filter to make the light. If you have a skybox, you can even sample the skybox, and then you will be able to turn it around. I mean, to match it. So what else is here? We have. So yeah, the workflow between Unity and Blender, I have a little brain freeze on the landscape because I do everything so automatically. I don't know what's going on with me today. Let me see if I can. Why can't I take texture? I don't know. I have a little brain freeze. I have to come back. Maybe I'll record a video. I have to reset, I think, the landscape, maybe. Anyway, so what else I wanted to show? Oh, another thing is in Blender. So as you can see in Blender, let's say, I'll hide everything. One thing that if I had to learn everything again, I would say first thing to do is to turn on statistics, right? So you want to have statistics always on because you don't want your environment to be too big or too, it will affect performance. Every time you find a free asset. Oh, another thing about the free assets. So where do you find them? You can find them on the Unity Asset Store, which is one of the greatest places to go. What I do, I would find something low poly nature, for example. And then you can set the price for free. There's a lot of different examples, so you don't have to start from scratch. You find any pack over here, and you will import it, add it to my assets, and it will go into your Unity. So the way you import them, window, package manager, and then, for example, I already have one installed here, and if you import it to the environment, oh, I should have skipped. Okay, import. Any questions? So
Do you need the main camera in Unity?
you don't need the main camera. I mean, it depends on what you're working on. So with our framework, you don't need the main camera because main camera is your avatar. So avatar will spawn already with the camera. And I'm just gonna jump into our environment in just a second.
Okay.
Oh, thank you. Thank you, Lori. Okay. So while it's installing, I'm going to jump into our framework. And as you will see that unlike the original Unity project, the framework has a ton of stuff here. We will have 3 environments, actually seven, I think 7 or 8 example environments. So you don't have to start from scratch. So we'll have the main one, the main scene, which you will be able to replace. You will just take this and put your own logo here. Then you will go into the logged in again. You can customize it and bring in assets from SketchUp Warehouse. I'm going to also show it in a second, or Unity Asset Store. Let's see if this is already installed in project. So let's find them. Right here. And again, remember how I said you go into here and then you go to scenes. So in the scenes, you'll find this logo. This is where all of the stuff is going to live. Let's see what they have here. So look how easy, and you can start already building environments. Let it a little, it needs a little. Oh, they have fog enabled probably. Let me see if they have fog. Let me see. They do have fog. So let's turn it off for a minute. Yeah, it's pretty heavy. Oh, they have a lot of materials here, water. I think this is the one I used for the campfire the other day, but yeah, it's pretty good. They have snow, they have water, so this is a really good pack, and it's pretty low poly as well. So you see how quickly you will be able to have an environment. And then let's say you want to start using the framework. And also we had a 3-hour video of the framework with Artsy. She did the Open Studio, so you can catch it in more details. Also, I have a lot of tutorials on our website over here. And we will be adding, this is the launch video, this is the Open Studio, and then installation. Everything is here, walked step by step. Multiplayer token testing, adding scene, obtaining geospatial token publishing settings, and testing via side quests. And then the last one, not the last one of the last ones, it will be putting on MetaQuest. So let's say you don't want to start from scratch. This is, you want to use our framework. We have 2 different folders, hubs and places. So when you go to the hubs, we already have Brightspace. If you want to start with the Brightspace, you can go to Campfire. You can start here, or you can also build the whole environment from scratch. You will just go to create scene, again, new scene. When you open it up, you will have to delete that main camera, because that main camera, you will not need that main camera in our framework, because the main camera is going to conflict with the avatar camera. So, and then you just start modeling. For example, you will say, okay, I found the asset. I think it should be already here because I think I'm signed in with the same account. Let's say you go to Unity Asset Store and you search for something like office or any other pretty much environment. You can get it for free. Purchase it on, I have some links there as well for you if you want to buy something fancy. And then you will come into the framework, and then you will, again, let's say it's already in project. Oh, wait, that's the old one over here. But yeah, you will install it right here. And then we also have a detailed an explanation how to add, because, I don't want to take too much time. you will have explanation how to add your scene. You literally just drag and drop it in the, I have on remote, but normally by default it's on the local scene. And it will be loaded up with your avatar. No problem. Again, detailed explanations are here. But we also have for you all of these environments they were built. I created them in Blender. I got them from SketchUp Warehouse. I'm going to show you SketchUp Warehouse is one of the best places as well. We can have the Ocean Villa. This environment also, you don't have to start from scratch. This environment is great. It has some water, which you can reuse. Everything is very flexible. So everything is modular, right? You can move it. You can get a prefab and kind of copy it to another different environment. Any questions? Fantastic. Thank you. Thank you, Heather. Ooh, that's a lot. I can't catch up with all the questions. Oh, no problem. Any questions? Everybody's so quiet. It looks so quiet for me. Everybody's so quiet.
You're doing great.
Oh, thank you. Yeah. So
Which scene is that? Which scene is that you're in again?
that's the Ocean
With the
Villa.
water?
Ocean
Ocean
Villa.
Villa. Okay. I
Yeah.
like the water. Okay.
Yeah, the water is great. The water is you can again, everything is reusable. We have games. So games is great for if you want to build like escape room or something with gaming. So everything is already configured. The scripts, I will create a list of bugs that we have here because not 100% all of them work in multiplayer. You will be able to use all of them by yourself, but sometimes people not going to see what you do. For example, I don't think we configured the sheep, and all these animals here. But all of this work pretty well. You can shoot, and again, start a new environment if you want and pull some prefabs. So the prefab, if you, for example, like something, if you want light in your environment, let's find, so candle. So you can search for candle, and small, I think. So candle small, if you just search, and then you will find it here, right? So, and you put it in your new environment, and everything usually normally comes around the center point at 0, 0, 0 point over here. Okay. Yeah, it's very modular. It's very, very, very easy to use. It's all configured. Last when we had an event, again, watch 3 hours to Open Studio. It's a lot to go through, but it's not as much as you would be building from scratch, right? And we have a tray is almost ready to put it on the app lab, right?
Yes.
So another thing I want to jump in, I had a little thing I want to show you. So in Unity, so Unity is great. You don't have to even know 3D modeling to use Unity because there's so many different places where you can find free assets. If you go to SketchUp Warehouse, I use it all the time because I rarely build anything from scratch. Can anybody give me any name, any object that you guys want? Any suggestion?
A warehouse barn.
I missed the question. Oh, okay.
So does it look good? So tool shed maybe, or we can see some. Oh, another thing, what I usually like to do is I go over here and I go file size up to 10 megabytes because sometimes when I was just beginner, I was not careful and I would end up having like 2 million vertices in my whole environment. I was like, what's going on? And then it's going to start shaking, freezing, and people are going to be very uncomfortable. So make sure that you find something super. Any in the particular?
Oh, barn still data.
Where's that?
They're on the right, third row. Yep, go to the right.
This one?
Nope, to the right. Yep, that one. Nope, Stellata. Barnes, Stadala. Stadala.
Dodala. Oh,
Yeah.
that one. So download. Oh, I have to be signed in. Let me see if I'm let me see if I can use my old account. I think I might be able to over here. Go. Oh. Okay, let's see. Here. I think I should have it saved here. No, I don't. Get your warehouse. Come on. Let's see if I can go over here. Okay, so let's see. Here you can install a SketchUp warehouse, a SketchUp file. It's $2 SketchUp. Save it. Where should we import it? Should we do in some, let's go to one of the hubs and go to Brightspace maybe. For example, when I have it here. So every time you would have a new environment, you would go in example assets, for example, and then you would go create folder. Sometimes it takes a couple of times. I don't know why, but example assets create folder, barn scene. Import new asset. Import. Then you would go use external assets, apply. Then you would go drag it over here. Then we have a barn here. So we're gonna put it here. And then maybe we'll try to do a play mode and see what happened here. Make sure that you will apply mesh. So mesh collider is pretty important because that will tell Unity that it is a solid floor. So it's not, your avatar is not gonna fall through, or it's not gonna go walk through the walls if you don't want them to. Let me see. I think this should be like that, right? And then we can put mesh collider. Oops. Mesh collider. And then, okay, let's see if we can try to play with that bright space. And then we're gonna go through the scenes, my scene, landing lobby, because this is where we normally start. Because our photon is set up to go from one scene to another, right? So you are connecting to the master server, so you're going to have a little bit of trouble. There's a different step you can do later on, I'll explain, but it's not, usually I start to do from the beginning. Any questions? Yes, SketchUp.
So I noticed when I'm in Blender and then I transfer over to Unity, is the positions in Blender, is they different? The positions in
Yeah,
Blender and the positions in Unity, are they different?
I think so. Well, yeah, I think so. We have to look.
It depends on your export settings.
Yeah, maybe. Let's connect anonymously. Oh wait, I should have done the XR device simulator. Can I do that now? Hold on 1 second. Let's try again. XR device simulator. And then we're gonna drop it over here. Again, everything is in tutorials. Everything is explained, all the steps. And then you're gonna have your hands, tab, 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 hand, tab, hand, tab, hand. Then connect anonymously. Then you go hubs. Let me see. Bright space. Let's see if we have our barn here somewhere. There you go. All right, so we're gonna go to the barn. We can teleport, right? Which one? Like that. So our barn is here. So you don't have to start from complete scratch, right? If you want to build something like that. So yeah, we have 7 environments. We have geospatial. Another one is my favorite thing ever. Was a lot of work to make it work with VR. We actually had to fix a lot of bugs that I even shared with Cesium, because I think I was the first one ever to bring VR in Cesium. They had a little bit of VR, but I took it to the next level because there were so many bugs. Our UI was not working. Once you leave a certain area, would UI completely stop working. So we had to write a custom script to make sure our UI doesn't shut down. Right now, one of the issues, and also remember that we have fly mode included. So when you take the package from GitHub, you go play in VR through the link. Again, everything is in tutorial and you can go flying. And then we have Grand Canyon here, but it's very easy to change the latitude, longitude. I would just literally sit in Google and where is the location of this place? Where is the location of that place? So, and then you put in latitude, longitude, and height, and then you will just load this whole environment in here. Oh, another thing I want to show, if you don't want to mess up, you kind of want to keep the environments, default environments, you can create my scenes, and maybe you go campfire, show an explorer, and then you will just copy like that, and then go back. Remember, Unity is just a whole bunch of different folders. That was something I was also not very comfortable originally, but then I realized, it's just folders, just a bunch of different folders. When you have a copy, so the one that we had, you're not going to mess it up, right? You will just have created a copy. You can mess it up, then you can delete it. Then you would go my scenes, campfire, and then just do whatever you want, move things around, bring your own things. If you like, this one has stars, so if you want to start something with the star and the dark skybox, you can also do that. Feel free to delete and move whatever you want. And then explanation is in the tutorial, how to add the scene. It's super easy. There's only a couple of steps to do. Any more questions? Don't be shy.
This isn't a question, but I really like the way you don't know how to get there right away, because by you trying out all the different ways to get somewhere because you forgot it, because you just do it out of habit, it shows us what we're going to end up doing. So don't take that out. Leave it in your tutorials because it's
I
great.
forgot. I am very bad under pressure. I'm horrible under pressure. So when I have a pressure in my brain freezes, I'm like, what do I do? I forgot. Because terrain is just such a pain in Unity, and I hate working with terrains because it's like, what happened? What I forgot was the setting. But it's just the matter of going back to tutorial, watching other tutorials. Oh, by the way, I want to give you a task to do. I have a link in the thing. So if you go to Udemy, Udemy course, this is one of the coolest courses that I've seen on Blender. There's Ultimate Blender 3D Environment course. So it comes with 6 different, I think 4 different environments. Swamp environment, sci-fi environment, desert environment. So this could be your task. Purchase it for like $10, I think, $11. And he's great, this instructor. He gives very good directions on detailing in Blender. So that will be your own environment, not somebody built. And I'm going to show you examples. So this one is what he was showing us. And then I created a similar to his, but I did my own twist on it. This one. They restricted my access, but it's okay. So some of them, so this frog, I bought it for like $5 and it came, it's called Toxic Frog, and it is a lot of them everywhere. All of this was built in Blender. And then another skybox I want to show you real quick. How much time we have? Let's do like 5 more minutes if you guys still have time. The Skybox, where I got it from Blockade Labs. So this one is a place where you can generate a Skybox using AI. You will just type in whatever you want. You can select the Skybox, then you can kind of adjust the way you want it. Like we can do this one maybe. Except I think you will have to type right here. So it will be kind of in the same style, right? So then you will download it. The problem with this particular skyboxes is that this one is not too bad, but a lot of times they would be so small, so your avatar is kind of like surrounded by all this stuff, so the space feels very small. So what I did here, for example, I created one with this. I said I want this mushrooms and stuff. So it created. Then I took it to Photoshop and I cut out in Photoshop. So I just left it. And what happened? I went to Blender and I created like a sphere. And then I cut. Oh, I'm sorry, not that one. UV sphere. And then I just cut this part so it's circular. I just like I took the face like that. And then I applied the material to this part and I just stretched it out like that. And then another thing to remember is it's probably a little bit more deep, probably not today, but face orientation is extremely important because in Blender you can check where the face orientation is. So you want everything that faces the character, you want it to be blue like that. If it's red, that means he's on the wrong side and your avatar is going to get stuck in the walls or in the vertices and all that stuff. So this is like, you can't check this out in Unity, so you need Blender for that. And the last one, I think I'm going to show you real quick. It's on my website. I didn't load it up into any of the. It's on my website. Let's see. If you go to Evgenia Simmons, that has some of my portfolio assets. Because I do a lot of hard surface modeling, but most of my enjoyment comes from nature. This one, I'm going to shut this down. I also mix the sound. There are 2 different sounds that I mixed. One of the snakes and another one of birds. So I created that in Clipchamp. So Clipchamp is one of the coolest free software. So I just recorded the sound and I mixed them both in Clipchamp. And this is also, I think I bought it for $10 on Unity Asset Store. And my husband said, "Did you buy snakes?" I said, "Yes." "You spend money on snakes?" I'm like, "Well, some women spend money on purses, then I buy snakes." So, and they all come rigged and they have all different animations. This trees came from Unity Asset Store for free. Fire came from Unity Asset Store for free. This one I created in Photoshop. This one I generated with AI. So I'm pretty resourceful where I get my assets from a whole bunch of different places. Okay, I think that's probably it. I hope you guys learned a little bit today.
This is great. Thank you.
Awesome.
Great, loved it. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate everybody's coming, and please join our Discord. Another thing, if you can go to our GitHub, if you haven't starred our repository, please give it a star. We have awesome community members that are actually going to help us. Tom went through the whole code. I don't know if he's here today. He's offering to clean up a lot. So we're trying to get to 500 stars. We only have 59. If everybody here will give us a star, if you haven't already, I would really appreciate it. I think that's it from me. If you have any questions or concerns or suggestions.
Could you share the link to the Discord?
Yeah, I can share again. All right. Yeah, any other questions?
Y'all said y'all eventually are working on integrating Ready Player Me avatars, right?
Yeah. This one we will want to do that. Again, we're inviting community to. I feel like engineers are gonna start hearing from the community what we need as artists to start bugging them. Hey, we're building this. Look at us. We built this. We wanna come on, help us. If like
Yeah,
everybody will bring in, like, hey, come on, let's go, help us build this, build that. Like I know
okay.
you wanted to build the video streaming, right? Like the screen
Yes,
streaming.
yes, yes.
Again, please bring an engineer.
Okay.
If you're gonna start getting maybe grants, I'm gonna start applying because I was so busy building this. Now if we're finally over,
Yes,
and I'm gonna start looking different grants so we can try to ramp up the production. So
definitely. Okay, okay.
yeah.
Thank you.
I am on LinkedIn. It's Evgenia Simmons, but I can share. Yeah. LinkedIn. Okay. And all right. If no other questions, appreciate everybody coming, and I'm looking forward to see what you guys create.
Absolutely awesome.
Bye. Take it easy. Sorry I
Bye.
missed the meeting.
Oh no,
I
Jose.
just got here.
Oh,
Juan.
Juan. Sorry. Oh, it's
Yeah,
okay.
it's
No
okay.
worries. Yeah. Well, we can
Hi-
catch up with you. I would love to chat with you.
awesome. Yeah. Do you have this recorded?
I do. Yeah. I will
What?
put it on YouTube actually. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Any
Thank
other
you.
questions? You're welcome.
Real quick note, can you hear me okay? And that is that if we're going to do a technical, like a programming side of Unity, I'd be happy to participate in that. And
Yes, we want to do developer maintain meetup sometime in March. This is where we're gonna go through the setup, all of that, the roadmap and how they can contribute, different ways to contribute, and yeah, we'll go over that.
okay.
Yeah, for sure. Any other questions? And I would love to see your apps. If you are working on the app, if it's almost ready, send me your banner with the app. I will try to promote the apps that already been published on MetaQuest on our website on Vertex Form 3D. I already have Artie's app, there's my app, there's Virtual Expo, and yours. If you build them, let me know. I will more than happy to put them on the website. Thank you. Yeah, let me know. Thank you so much.